And welcome to the channel, everybody. Here, Lucas from Mars, back with you with another episode of this MLB Show 22 Custom League. And the first thing that we're going to do here in this episode is we're going to play this full game here between the Montreal Expos and the Kansas City Monarchs. These two teams right around 500 at this point in the season. Montreal 54-51, and Kansas City 54-49. So the Expos have played a couple more games this season, it looks like, but these two teams have the same amount of wins this season here. So we'll play this full game, and then we'll get into the trade deadline here, where we'll have some trades go down, and we'll kind of highlight the biggest ones from the league that we're going to show you. But Dane Dunning, the starter here for Kansas City, for Kansas City, and man, he's done really well so far in 20 starts this season. A 2.74 ERA and a 1.21 ER or WHIP. They're really good numbers for him. As Nicky Lopez here leading off for Montreal, and that ball will run in and hit Nicky Lopez here, and a little interleague matchup between two teams that I expect to be in the conversation for a playoff spot, at least here, going down the stretch in this season. That's a ball to Bryson Scott. 260 average, 5 home runs, 31 RBIs, only a 683 OPS for him, though, as that 1-0 is, right down the middle of the plate. Not really sure why he didn't swing at that one. But again, the Monarchs 54-49, second right now in the NL Central, and there's a stolen base for Nicky Lopez. Pretty easy for him to steal that one, it looked like. There 22 on the year. And Stott will swing and fly into the outfield here, near the wall, and it is caught by, that is Jordan Alvarez there in left who makes that grab. And that'll be the first out of the game. Again, looking at this lineup for the Expos, you got Lopez and Scott there at the top of it. Woody Guerrero Jr., George Springer, Will Smith, Ryan McMahon, Al Kirilloff, Ryan Zimmerman, and then Roman Quinn. And again, highest batting average on this team right now is Gurriel with a 270 average. So it's just the lineup and the averages here on this team not looking very good. And George Springer only batting 231 this season here. This 1-1 to him, though, is a line drive. That ball is high in the air to left field. Nimmo at the wall, and it's over the wall and gone. George Springer with that bomb, his 14th homer this season, and the Expos will take a 2-0 lead here in the first inning. So Springer kind of struggling with the average and the on-base this season. Not really typical of him, but the power has still been there for him, and that was a big-time swing, a sinker. Caught way too much of the plate there. 376 on the distance to right center field. And 2-0 Montreal here already in this one, as there's a pop-up by Will Smith, the shortstop here, all the way by with Jr. in foul territory, making that play to end the top of the first inning. But a George Springer, big-time swing right here. And the first hit of the game makes it 2-0 here after the top of the first in this one. So on the mound for the Expos here is right now the Cy Young leader for the American League, and Zach Wheeler. 21 starts this season. Again, he was the American League pitcher in the All-Star game, and that 1.90 ERA and 0.94 ERA WHIP. That is top in the league. Chris Taylor leading off for Kansas City, and he's kind of struggled a little bit. 236 only on the average, is only a 708 OPS, so I don't know if he'll stay in that leadoff spot the whole season, but would like him to get on base a little bit more, as there's a pop-up that is caught by Will Smith at the catcher spot here for out number 1. And I really like this Monarchs lineup. Let's take a look at it. There you got Taylor there, Brandon Nimmo batting second, Jordan Alvarez 273, Abreu 237, Alex Dickerson, Bobby Witt Jr., Evan Longoria, Riley Green, and Austin Nola. 250 career home runs for Jose Abreu is pretty cool. But there's Jordan Alvarez, 23 homers for him. And for some reason, he was not in the All-Star game this season, actually, as there's a swing and a miss on a high slider. And I get that You know, I mean, there's not an unlimited amount of slots for the All-Star game, but it was kind of interesting that Yordan Alvarez was not there in that ball game and not represented. Jose Abreu was, though, with 22 home runs and, you know, over 50 RBIs for him already on the season. But a 3-2 to him here is a slider that just misses for ball 1. So man on here, Abreu with the leadoff walk, and now it's Alex Dickerson. And Dickerson's going to ground it up the middle, and that one is going to be through and into center. So a hit and a walk and a base hit here have begun this bottom of the second inning. Now here's Bollywood Jr. And he's going to take a four-seamer inside for strike one. And Bollywood, really good numbers for him. 294 on the average, 781 OPS, 4 homers, or 19 RBIs. Very, very good season so far. And an 0-1 is a swing and a drive into left field. Gurriel at the wall. He runs out of room. That ball is gone. Bobby Witt Jr., 23-year-old with a 3-run homer there. That's his 5th of the season. And the Monarchs will take a second inning lead. 3-2. I believe that is Gurriel out there left for this Expos squad, but man, I mean, Bollywood Jr. continues his excellent season to this point, and the Monarchs now have that lead here in this second inning. That ball is upstairs. It's called a strike, though, to Longoria. See his numbers there on the season. He's doing okay. 1-2 here to Longoria, and now that ball is set out to deep left field. This one's got a chance. Over by the pole, and it is fair, and it's gone! Wow, it just curled inside the fair pole, I guess, down the left field line, and Evan Longoria takes it deep for his 13th homer of the year. Wynn and Longoria go back-to-back to make it 4-2 Kansas City. Now let's see what this one went, and yeah, it does just barely curl inside that fair pole. Man, that was a home run by a matter of inches, it seems. And now there's a swing and a ball dropped into the gap here in left field. And this might be extra bases. He's going to try and go to second here, and he's going to get in there safely. That is a double by Riley Green, his 12th of the season. And man, a homer, 2 home runs in a row, and then the double. So, not used to being hit like this is Zach Wheeler this season. Not typical of what we've seen from him this year. 3-2. There's a swing and a miss, though, on a sinker, because Taylor cannot make contact with that. And so now there's 2 down in the inning. Brandon Nimmo take advantage of that double. He flied into center. And I believe, I don't know who is out there in center field exactly. That is caught by the center fielder there for the 3rd and final out. But that will end the inning. Now before 2 home runs in the frame by the Monarchs. 4 hits, 4 runs after 2 here, and it's a 4-2 lead. So we go to the 3rd inning, and there's a grounder over to Abreu at first. Gets one there, and the throw back to Abreu is a double play. So Dane Dunning there, that's a great job and a great pitch by him, and he definitely appreciates that as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Here's Yordan Alvarez here. First pitch of this 3rd inning is a swing and a drive to left field. Alvarez, he knows it right away. That ball is gone. Another homer here off of Zach Wheeler, and Alvarez, his 24th, and he just continues his impressive offensive year so far at the plate. And it's a 5-2 lead for Kansas City. So how about 5 runs, 5 hits, at least 4 of them being extra bases here, with 3 home runs and a double so far off of Zach Wheeler, the best pitcher in the American League right now. 403 on the distance there with that home run, and that's what I'm talking about with this Kansas City Monarchs lineup. It's one of the better ones in the league, in my opinion, and they're showing off their power, and they're showing off right here in this game against Zach Wheeler right now. There's a swing and a miss. Pretty nasty pitch there outside to Jose Abreu. Now one down in the inning. Alex Dickerson, he is going to take a slider that not even close to the strike zone there for ball 4. So that'll set up Bollywood Jr. again. Of course, he had that home run in the last at-bat for him. Now 5 homers, 22 RBIs on the season. An average sitting at 298, 0-2 to him. Is a swing and a miss there on a slider. And that was a great pitch by Wheeler. 2 outs in the inning now for Longoria, who is going to swing and miss as well. That ball is a sinker in the dirt, and the throw gets away over the first baseman's head, and that is going to maybe try and score a run. They're going to send him to home, and all the way to third base goes Longoria. Wow, I mean, that is a big-time error, and that scores a run all the way from first. So an error on Will Smith here on a strikeout, and that run will not be charged to Zach Wheeler in this one here, but man, that was just a bad throw way over the head of the first baseman, and man, that is a big that is a big error right there. 6-2 game, and that catch is made in center, but man, 3 innings, and so that is George Springer in center field, it looks like there, but man, 3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs for Kansas City, 2 errors as well already by Montreal, but man, a 4-run lead now for the Monarchs, and that's another swing and a miss there. Dane Dunning gets another strikeout of Will Smith, his second time he struck out today in this game, Will Smith has, and yeah, Will Smith is also one of those guys that you would expect to be doing a lot better this season that is just not really performing very well on offense. Ryan McMahon here swings and misses a circle change. That was a filthy pitch right there, and Ryan McMahon is really struggling at the plate as well this season. Now Kirilloff going to ground it over to Taylor at second base, and Taylor will make the play to end the top of the 4th inning. So I go bottom 4. Here's Austin Nola, and Nola's going to swing and miss and a high fastball there. I mean, Zach Wheeler's got a lot of strikeouts in this game. I believe that's, 5 or 6 tonight so far. So he's got, the strikeout pitch working. It's just he has missed a couple of times in this game, and he's gotten punished for that and for his misses in his locations. But there's another swing and a miss. Oh, my goodness. Now, Taylor again. Yeah, that's his second, at least his second time striking out today. Maybe his third. As already Brandon Nimmo with his 3rd at-bat of the game here. And there's a grounder over to second base, and Lopez will throw it over to first in time. So there's a clean inning, and that is the end of the 4th. So now we go to the 5th inning here, and there's a swing, and there's a drive into the gap here, and that ball is over the wall, and it's gone! Wow, a line drive, home run by Ryan Zimmerman. His 6th of the season, and not really a regular starter on this Expos roster, but making the start today. And that is a big swing by Zimmerman in his last season in the league here, because in real life he did actually retire after 2022. And so we'll kind of simulate that in this game. So his last year in the major leagues, and that was a big-time swing there. It's 378 on the distance, so it's a 3-run game now on this one. As that is a slider that misses for ball 3 to Roman Quinn. And Roman Quinn is really not playing well this year, so you don't want to put him on base, attack him here. Now here comes the full pitch from Dunning, and that ball is inside. And so Dane Dunning loses the number 9 hitter here to put a man on, and still nobody on in this frame. Here's Scott, and that ball is in the dirt, and it kicks from Nola, and up to second base goes Roman Quinn. So there's a wild pitch, and now he's in, and now Roman Quinn is in scoring position. 1-0 here to Lopez is a grounder over to Abreu, and actually the runner moved up. Roman Quinn was moved to third base with a sacrifice fly, and he will score on that ground out there. So it's a 2-run game now for Lourdes Guerrero Jr. 2 outs here in the inning. And the first pitch to Gurriel is a ground ball up the middle and into center. So the inning will continue here. Still not done with this 5th inning frame here now. And So Gurriel will keep it going, and now at the plate is a swing and a drive from George Springer. And Alvarez looks up. Alvarez sees that one go over the wall. That one is gone. George Springer does it again. It's his second homer this game, and we are tied at 6. So, how about this inning here by Montreal? 4 runs here in the 5th have tied the game. And George Springer, man, he knew that right away that one was gone. When his back down a sinker, that just was down the middle again. And, man, Springer really having himself a good game. 426 there on the distance. Man, that ball was smashed. So, now all of a sudden, a tie game, and here comes Tim Bastar out of the bullpen. And, man, he's been really, really good, actually, for Kansas City out of the bullpen. 50 innings, 2.34 ERA for him. So now 2 out in the frame, and there's a swing and a miss, and another one for Will Smith. Man, he's just really not doing well at the plate. That's his 3rd time he struck out in this ball game. And 2 home runs there in that inning. Big time frame as a big 4-run inning by the Expos. So now we go to the bottom of the 5th, and again, all of a sudden, it's a tie game at 6 apiece. There's a swing and a miss, a high fastball to Yordan Alvarez, and that's his 7th or 8th strikeout, I think, in this game. Now, Braves going to take a slider for strike 3. And, man, I wish it showed us how many strikeouts Wheeler has had in this game, but he's gotten a lot of strikeouts in this one, that is for sure. And so, I mean, you can definitely tell that, you know, he's got the stuff to just fool these hitters and they don't have a chance. He's just not located well at certain points in this game. There's a grounder over to second. That's going to be a big 0 put up by Zach Wheeler here in the 5th. Huge inning right there. And so, we go to the 6th, still tied up at 6. Now, Ryan McMahon is going to swing and miss. And a fastball again there, and that's McMahon's, at least his 2nd strikeout of the game. Now here's Alec Kirilloff, 0 for 2 tonight so far, but he's going to punch that ball into left or into right field for a single here with 1 away. Base runner on for Jordan Zimmerman. And Zimmerman's going to swing and miss at a high fastball there. Good pitch by Bastar to get the 2nd out of the inning. And you see where that one located. It's just such a hard pitch to lay off of as a hitter there when it's up there like that. 2 down in the inning now, and here's Roman Quinn up again. And Roman Quinn is going to punch it into left field there, down the line, and off the wall. And up to 3rd is going to go the hitter there. Kirilloff will get it to 3rd base, and it's a double for Roman Quinn now. So 2 men on here, 2 men out in the inning. And a 2-0 here to Nicky Lopez is ball 3. So Bastar kind of losing command of the zone here, and definitely not putting himself in a good spot right now with this inning. And there's a 3-0, and it's inside for ball 4. So that changeup will load the bases here with 2 out in the inning, and you need 1 pitch. That's all you need to get out of this inning here. But now a disaster could unfold as here's Bryson Stott. 1-1 to Stott here is a swing and a drive, deep right field. At the wall is Nimmo, and that ball is gone. It's a grand slam. Bryson Stott puts the Expos ahead 10-6 here in the 6th inning. Wow, how about this swing? And a no-doubter grand slam for Bryson Stott. 373 into the seats, or just to the left of the seats there in right field. And now here comes Seth Elledge out of the bullpen for the Monarchs. Not really doing that well in 60 innings with a 4.35 ERA. but a disaster here in this 6th, as that's a strike 3 call to Gurriel Jr. there at the top of the zone, but man, damage done. Bryson Stott, what a swing, and it's a 4-run lead for the Expos as we go to the middle of the 6th. Down from down 4 to up 4 all of a sudden, just like that. Impressive comeback here that we've seen today. And there's a pop-up into foul territory, and so, you know, for how bad the first couple of innings, the first few innings went for Zach Wheeler today, he actually gets through 6 innings tonight. You know, allowing 5 runs on 5 hits, 6 total, but only 5 earned. So we're in the 7th inning, and I go to team select here. I just want to quick manage this top of the 7th inning, but there's a double for Will Smith, his first hit of the game. And then Ryan McMahon is going to strike out again, but then Alex Kirilloff gets his 2nd hit of the game. It's another RBI, a double into the gap. I'm not sure where that ball was hit, but now Julian Merriweather comes out of the bullpen here, and, I mean, made the All-Star game, and he did that for a reason, 105 innings, a 2.66 ERA, but now a 5-run lead for Montreal, but that ball is going to drop in to right field for extra bases here, as into second standing up goes the hitter. I believe that's that's Austin Nola, only his 7th double of the season. Now Chris Taylor up again, and he's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts at least, but this ball into the gap or in between the shortstop and the third baseman, and Bryson Stott didn't really have a chance there to get that out. 2 on, nobody out. Brandon Nimmo looks at that slider inside for ball 1. And Nimmo 0 for 3 in this game with a ground out his last time up. A 3-2 now is ball 4 again. And so, man, a walk and a couple of walks and an infield single have all of a sudden loaded up the bases here for Julian Merriweather. And this is dangerous now with Yordan Alvarez coming up. Alvarez is going to line it, and that ball will fall in for a base hit. And because of the line drive nature of it, everybody had to freeze, and so only 1 run will score. But now a 4-run game with the bases loaded. And so, I mean, that's Yordan Alvarez for you there. He comes through with a big-time knock. And this situation really could get out of hand quickly. Here's now Jose Abreu, 0 for 2 in this game, and he is going to swing and miss. And a 4-seamer, and that is a big-time strikeout. And, you know, I know he's doing fairly well with, you know, the home runs and RBIs, but it just seems every time that I go into a game where I have, you know, where I'm not controlling the Monarchs, but every time I play with them, it just doesn't seem that Jose Abreu does anything. But, man, that's a big-time strikeout there. Now Dallas Keuchel comes out, 15 innings, and has given up 1 run, and that was in those 15 innings so far. So he's done excellent this year. And from the bullpen, there's a ground ball, and they're just going to go across to first base. Maybe would have had a play at home, but you want to get the sure thing, and the sure out there was to go to first with that. So now a 3-run game for Bollywood Jr. to come up now with 2 outs. There's a ground ball. It's up the middle. That's going to score 1. Around third, here comes the run. The throw to the plate is going to be in time. Alvarez, not the quickest guy in the bases, but Will Smith, how about that tag? A monster tag at home, and that'll hold the run back, and now it's an 11-9 game. But, man, you cut down a run at the plate like that. That was huge. Seth Elledge gets a strikeout there. Front number 1. Now there's 2 down in the inning. And here's Bryson Stott again. Of course, I mean, we know what happened last time he was at the plate. So what does he do now with 2 outs here in the 8th? Ground ball, and it's to shortstop, and Bollywood Jr. is going to throw it quickly to the first baseman there. So that ends the 8th inning. I mean, the Monarchs do get 3 runs in that 7th, so they're closer, a lot closer now in this bowl game. Here's Brad Boxberger, who has been, wow, ridiculous in 22 innings. Oh my goodness, 1 run, a lot, I think, with the .40 ERA. Look at those averages against, under 100 against righties and a 125 average against lefties. He has been almost untouchable this year out of this Montreal bullpen. There's a line drive, and it is caught, run down by Alex Kirilloff. That ball was hit well, but just in a bad location, as a little bit more over to the left, and that would have been extra bases. So now here's Austin Nola. 0-2 to Nola as a grounder over to Stott, and that will be the end of the 8th inning. Good scoop there by Zimmerman at first base. So that'll land the 8th, and I mean, that's 3 outs that needed to do something with, and now they only have 3 left to go to the bottom of the 9th. And here's Corey Knebel, 28 out of 32 in save opportunities this year, a 2.94 ERA. He's been doing well this season. Would have liked to see his walks go down a little bit, but overall he's been doing well as this team's closer. Looking for save number 29, and Montreal looking for win number 55 this year, as that is a strike on the outside corner to Josh Taylor for out number 1. Big time pitch there by Knebel here, and here's Brandon Nimmo up again. 0-for-3 still with the walk his last time up. And an 0-2 here. Here's a swing and a miss. A knuckle curve there on the outside corner. Good pitch by Corey Knebel. That was really good in the zone. I mean, but just such a hard pitch to hit there on the corner. And so now 2 down in the ball game. Down to their last out. Jordan Alvarez at the plate. And Alvarez is going to line it, but Kirilloff, playing him deep, is there to make the catch and end the ball game. So they were expecting, maybe not expecting, but knew Alvarez could hit one a long way, and so they played the outfielders back near the wall, and that ended up playing to their benefit as they get that out. And the Expos hold on in this ball game here to win it 11-9. And, I mean, 4 runs in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. Of course, the grand slam, the big-time blow in this game. But, I mean, you go, if you're the Monarchs, you have that 6-2 lead, and you cannot hold it. They, got 3 runs closer in that, 6th inning, or 6th or 7th inning. I think it was the 7th inning, but just not enough. So they fall. And the Monarchs, that's their 50th loss of the season. They're now 54-50. Meanwhile, 55-51 are Montreal Expos here. They get this win. Big one there. George Springer, player of the game. He had 2 home runs and a double. And Zach Wheeler with 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. 5 hits, 6 runs. I guess all 6 of them were earned, even though one of the runs was scored on a throwing error. But I guess maybe it's earned because the runner got on base. Like, not because of an error. That's an interesting. I'm not sure the reasoning behind scoring it that way. But anyway, we are now in the trade deadline here. This is the last day for trades, and so we have a few that I've been kind of looking into this, and I have mentioned Mitch Haniger as a definite trade possibility here for the Cardinals here, Columbus. And he's done really well this season. 242 average this year with that 828 OPS and 24 home runs for him, 67 RBIs. He's, on his, not his last year, but next year will be his last year for him, contract-wise. And so this is a, team in Columbus that they're below 500 right now. They're not really in the wild card race right now. And so we're going to see, and I know a lot of teams would need an outfielder. So we're going to go to a team that would look for an outfielder and would be in need of one. And I like the Crusaders here. They're kind of in need of an outfielder right now, and they have a couple of prospects that I really like. And one of them here is James Wood, who has been, not great at AAA, honestly, this season, but he's a 71 overall, B potential guy, only an 18, really good stats. I mean, the hitting stats are really good for him already. 53, 48 contact, 60 and 65 power. The vision and the discipline a little bit low. But, his fielding ratings are decent as well. So I really like him. And then also, we're going to include a reliever in this trade. And this reliever is Eric Yardley, 31 years old. And he has just been ridiculously good, actually, in this bullpen for the Cardinals. 41 innings, a 1.98 ERA, and a 0.8 whip. So definitely a great bullpen piece here. And I think that's one of the Crusaders' weak points a little bit is their bullpen. And then we also just put in the last guy in their roster, Tucker Davidson, there as well as starting pitcher. And we're going to get one more good prospect here out of this deal for the Cardinals, and that guy is Jordan Walker in the Cardinals organization in real life, but he is actually for some reason in single A. I did call him up to Triple A like right after I did this trade because I didn't realize he was in single A. But he's 19 as well, so he's got 8 potential though, and he's a 62 overall. So a couple of 19-year-olds there, and a couple of really young prospects here to give to the Crusaders. And with that move, we are going to call up Hunter Green, who has been excellent in AAA in this farm system for the Valley Pigs, or for the Iron Pigs, I mean. 125 innings pitched for him, a 2.52 ERA, 127 strikeouts. So he's got the strikeout upside, and he's a 71 overall. So we're going to move up Hunter Green here. He will be in the Major League team now. And told us slot in over Steven Brault there, and he will be in the starting rotation. As well as that move, we're going to move up Corbin Carroll because that opens up an outfield position. And there's a look at Corbin Carroll's stats. Really good, 70 contact against righties for him, against righties, and really good fielding ratings. He's a 74 overall. We got to add him to the 40-man really quickly. But, Corbin Carroll, one of those guys in real life playing for the Diamondbacks, and he has been excellent in his rookie year in real life, and he is definitely ready to take that starting outfield spot. So that's another reason that I kind of wanted to do this, is I wanted to make a little bit of room, kind of an excuse to bring Corbin Carroll up to the Major League roster and team there. So Corbin Carroll is going to go in the lineup, and then Mitch Haniger will go in here. I mean, Manuel Margot is just not a great outfielder here. And, he's their starting right fielder, and I don't really want him to be there. And, I mean, this team right now is in the midst of a playoff push. They really need another boost in this offense, I think. And, I mean, this will definitely do it for them. This lineup is a lot stronger now and just is incredibly dangerous. You got Haniger, Anthony Rendon, Luke Voigt. Really good lineup there. So that's the first big trade that we have on the ledger. And then also, again, mention Alex Bregman at the trade deadline here as well. And we're going to do this because this is definitely the guy that has the most trade value for the Richmond Rhinos at this point. 106 hits for him on the season, already 27 doubles. I mean, this is a good season. 832 OPS and a 272 average. So he's going to want a lot, and we're going to want a lot in return for him. But, 3 more years on his contract, 2 more after this season. But yeah, this is definitely the guy with the most value trade-wise that I want to kind of part ways with for the Richmond Rhinos. The Rhinos are not a good team this year. And Andrew Painter is who they're going to get in return. And Andrew Painter this year has been ridiculous in AAA. Really, really good numbers. 2.47 ERA and a 1.32 whip. He's a B potential, 67 overall guy, only 18 years old, one of the better pitching prospects in baseball. And then we're going to include Brusdar Gatterall in this trade as well to send to the Rhinos. And, Brusdar, in real life, I know he's nasty for the Dodgers. In this game, he's not really developed that much. So he's, still a little bit inexperienced. And the ERA this season for him hasn't been great, but the whip has been okay. And, he's only 23, so he should only get better in this bullpen. So we're going to do that as well to give the Rhinos a extra bullpen piece. And then Jeremy Ironman is another guy we're going to include in this trade. 25 years old, a third baseman here with B potential. So I don't know. Who knows if he's going to make that big of an impact. But then Chris Archer is the guy that we're going to complete to make this trade happen for the Rhinos. So the Rhinos get, good starting pitching prospect and Brusdar, a good relief pitcher as well, to trade for Alex Bregman. And for the Reapers, who are, really in that, they're leading the National League West right now. They are looking to secure that division and going to want another offensive piece to their lineup before going into the playoffs potentially. They're going to want that trade, and so we complete that trade with them here. And Alex Bregman will be kind of taking over this shortstop spot, and then Alberto Mondesi will be coming in as the DH. He's still going to be the leadoff man, but I mean, that just makes this team even better in this lineup. I mean, you got Bregman, Freeman, Devers, and JD Martinez now. That 2 through 5 is just nasty. So really like that trade. And then we go to the Cougars here. And this team had a lot of guys that I really was thinking about moving. And one of the bigger guys here is Joey Gallo, who, not a great average, not a great on-base guy, but he's got the power, and he's been showing it off this year. 24 home runs for him, 52 ribbies. He's having a good year for this Cougars team. And the Dragons, about a 500 baseball club, they're going to want to try and push for the postseason, and they're going to want an outfielder here. And in return, Tyler Soderstrom is going to be packaged. I can't remember. This team's got Corey Lee already on their roster here, and Corey Lee has been crazy good this season, actually. So, he's been really good. They don't really need Tyler Soderstrom in their organization just because they already have a guy that can play catcher. I mean, Soderstrom can play other positions, but basically they have that starting catcher already locked up. So we're going to do this here. We're going to have Tyler Soderstrom go to the Cougars. And then Cole Winn, also 22 years old, as a pitcher here. And he's done all right so far in 105 innings in AAA, 67 overall, 22 years old. And so he will go as well to the Cougars. And then we also just include another relief pitcher here in this deal as well. We're going to get Will Harris, send him over to the Dragons. But yeah, that's going to be a good trade. I like them getting. Actually, Oliver Perez has been kind of good this season. But also Juan Cosmo, a C potential closing pitcher there at 21. He might not really do much in this league, but he's just a guy that we're going to make this trade perfectly even. And that's the trade that we're going to send over between the Dragons and the Cougars. And now I will just preface this. This is the only trade that I did with the Cougars, but I honestly should have done more with Charlotte. They had Justin Turner was a guy that I honestly probably should have traded, and I didn't. They have Clayton Kershaw on that team as well as a guy that I could have traded. And Josh Harrison as well. Like, that team has a lot of older players, and looking back now, I'm a little bit ahead in real life based on this recording and when it's happening, but I honestly realized that I should have definitely traded Justin Turner at the least from the Cougars. So what I'm probably going to do is, even though it might not be super realistic to have, it might not be super realistic to have the Cougars re-sign Justin Turner. I'm going to do that just so that they can trade him away as well again in the offseason, because I should have done that at the trade deadline. But either way, with all that being said, Delino DeShields is probably the best option here to slot in that outfielder role. Jay Allen, he's only 19, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put Delino DeShields Jr. there, and Charlie Culberson is also there. This is not a really good lineup there. They're actually the worst ranked team now in the league, and 6 games below 500, they are not going to be very good. So another trade here. This is a in division trade, which I don't like doing, but I think that for what the Bees want, the Bees are going to want to really push for this division title, and the Las Vegas Gamblers are just not going to be competing. I don't think they're not really that great right now. And so we're going to move a starter, Miles Michaelis, and then an outfielder in DJ Stewart here, who was not getting not really starting for this team. He's kind of a utility guy for them, but he's been really good, actually. These are some good numbers. A 350 on base percentage really does intrigue me, actually. And so we're going to offer this trade. Olivas Martinez is going to be traded for. I'm sorry, I did not actually really show you the other end of that deal. That is my bad there. But the Gamblers got Olivas Martinez in that trade there. You can pause to just see what that trade all entailed. But Olivas Martinez was basically the big piece in that trade. So now DJ Stewart here is going to go in this lineup. And Damiano Pazzo, we could replace him. He's actually not doing terrible, though, in the outfield. But Odubel Herrera is just not good. So we're going to put DJ Stewart in the starting lineup every day now, and I think that's going to be good. DJ Stewart, you know, I mean, his numbers are not anything crazy, but I definitely think that's a good guy a good piece, a guy that can get on base for you. And you know, this team needs that, a little boost in the offense, and then of course another pitcher there. And so yeah, Miles Michaelis will slot in. Probably have J.A. Happ. We're going to replace him, I think, here. And we might call J.A. Happ down to the minors, actually. I wonder if that's what I did here. But either way, now Miles Michaelis is there, and I kind of want him to be the 2 or the 3 in this pitching rotation. And I like that pitching rotation a lot better. Jack Flaherty, Bassett, Miles Michaelis, Ryan Wainwright, and Damison Lamet. It's a good pitching rotation. And then we're going to go, I think, 1 or 2 more trades now. I think 2 more trades in total. And this one here, Antonio Sensatella and Royce Lewis going to be traded for Gavin Lux. And so for the Arrows, you know, Antonio Sensatella, a 27-year-old beat potential starting pitcher here. He's been pretty good for the Arrows in this season. He's, you know, got a 3.57 ERA, a lot better than I expected for him. And, you know, not a bad season by any means. But the Arrows actually want to call somebody else up that I have in mind on their team. And so we're going to trade him to mainly make room for that. We're going to give him Royce Lewis as well, a 22-year-old shortstop here with a potential 67 overall. And, you know, decent ratings. I think he might have a chance to play in the majors like next year. Not sure. We will see kind of what the plan for him is going to be with the Stars. Nashville is the other end of this deal, and for them, they're going to get Gavin Lux. They're going to trade Gavin Lux away, and Gavin Lux, second baseman here, 78 overall, beat potential guy, 24 years old, and, you know, really good contact against righties, good stats against righties, decent discipline. He's got to work on that contact versus lefties for sure, but he's actually not been that bad this season. 84 hits, 10 home runs, 40 RBIs, a 262 average, with a 321 on base and a 740 OPS. So not bad numbers there by Gavin Lux, but just kind of want to give the Arrows a little bit more depth there at the second base position. Or actually the Arrows a little bit more pitching, or the Stars get a little bit more pitching help, and the Arrows more depth at second base. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that deal. And I mean, again, there's a guy that we want to call up right now for this Arrows team, pitching-wise, and that guy is Chris Bubik, who has just been ridiculous in AAA. He's been one of the best AAA pitchers in just any team, out of anybody. I mean, look at these numbers for him. He's got really good stats, even across the board, and, you know, 116 innings, and he has a 2.17 ERA and a 1.13 whip. That is unreal, so he definitely deserves a chance to go and pitch in the major league team. So that's what we're going to do there. And then Gavin Lux here is going to slot in over David Fletcher. David Fletcher is just not performing very well this season. But Gavin Lux is going to step in there and be the leadoff man for this Arrows team. Like this Arrows lineup a lot here, and that is a solid boost to their lineup, I think. And then again, for Nashville, just strengthening this starting pitching staff, and there's Antonio Sensatella there slotting in as the 4. So then one more trade that we're going to do here with the Spiders, and again, there's Joe Musgrove. This is a starting pitcher here that we're going to want to trade, and the Spiders, the worst team in the National League West. They're not going to be a good team. And Joe Musgrove, one of the guys with some good potential, and he's been very good for them. 3.44 ERA and a 1.21 whip. Those are good numbers for sure. 29 years old. So Joe Musgrove, a good pitcher. You know who else? I should have also traded Trey Mancini from this team as well, I realized. So Nico Goodrum is going to be sent back. And Nico Goodrum, just a utility guy, really. I mean, he can play every single position besides catcher. So basically just a utility guy. I mean, not bad numbers for him really either, though. 274 average, 353 on base, 747 slugging. So it's not like he's been that bad this year at all either. But the main guy here, the main piece prospect-wise is Joe Adell. 65 overall, 8 potential guy, 22 years old. The hitting ratings right now aren't, like, incredible. We definitely need to work on those, but he has been really good in AAA. He's been absolutely tearing it up down there in 83 at-bats so far. 337 average for him, 371 on base, and over 900 OPS. So that is going to be the trade there between the Spiders and the Barons. The Barons are going to get Joe Musgrove, and that's just a solid addition to the pitching staff for the Barons as they look to clinch the NL West, or the NL East, I mean. AL East, excuse me. And again, I should have traded Trey Mancini on this team because, you know, he's a C potential guy, although I might change it to a B because he's doing really, really well this season, actually. But I should have done that. I should have traded Trey Mancini because he's also on the last year of his contract. And, you know, he's a first baseman. That's kind of a position of need for some teams. So, with that being said, I'm also going to do what I want to do with, you know, Justin Turner and the Cougars. I'm going to just sign I'm going to just have the Spiders sign and then trade Trey Mancini, sign him in the offseason, and then have the Spiders trade him in the offseason, just so I can do that and I can, you know, make that happen. Because that's what I should have done that for sure in this episode, but I didn't, so we'll do that in the offseason. But anyway, that's all the trades that I did. Those are the big ones for you. And there's, again, Sammy Woods Richardson is also going to be called up for Las Vegas because they have a pitching spot open now. So Sammy Woods Richardson is going to be in the majors now. He's going to make his debut pretty soon. But that will be everything in this episode, guys. So that's all the trades that we had. I hope you liked it there, and big episode and a big and important one for this franchise here. As the next game that we're going to have is going to be one between the Monarchs and the Stars. The Nashville Stars debut for Antonio Sensatello. That's going to be the game that we'll have next. And I hope to see you guys for that episode. And, we'll see you in that one here. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, guys. Remember to subscribe if you want to stay notified of everything that I'm doing on this channel and when I'm uploading. And I hope everybody's having a great day. You've been listening to Lucas from Mars. God bless.